All right, everybody, we are back here with Alex on the AFS Health and Care podcast. Alex is our on-site, integral, newly added dietitian, which we have been so grateful for her presence. And everybody that's listening, that's a member here, probably knows about our My 180 program and how we're incorporating more healthcare providers like a registered dietitian to help people with their holistic health that we don't really have a scope on. We could do all the exercise stuff, but since we brought you on and that dietetics piece, it's really been instrumental for helping people make lasting change. So, guys, Alex, you're going to see a lot more of her, and I want to turn it to you, Alex. And, this is kind of like, hey, who is this person?
Yeah.
So, give us a sense of, all right, who's Alex? How'd you get into dietetics? Like, give us that little origin story.
Sure. I'd love to. So dietetics wasn't always something that I thought I would get into. I initially went the route of, what do I think I need to do or what's like a smart choice. So going into my degree at Michigan State, I was pursuing pharmacy, which I will say did end up helping me in the long run, just learn other aspects of healthcare. But initially, I wanted to be a pharmacist, started working in the pharmacy, needed to come up with some type of a major, and ended up stumbling upon nutritional science. So once I started diving into those nutrition classes, I felt like there was a click, and I really resonated with those classes, given the fact that it did align with my lifestyle. So started doing nutrition classes. I personally enjoyed being healthy in my own life. So making healthy choices, eating good food that was nourishing, implementing exercise and workouts. And that just led me to completely change my scope of my career because I really never wanted work to feel like work. And it really hasn't since I've become into the workplace of being a dietitian. So I can implement things that I enjoy in my personal life, and then it just resonates into the workplace. It's all authentic. It's something that I do on a day-to-day basis or a weekly basis, and I just truly enjoy it. So it doesn't feel like I'm actually working, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yes, it's just grown into, a lifestyle, something I enjoy, helping other people decide, what choices to make and just how to improve their health. That's
an interesting switch from pharmacy to dietetics, which happened
Yes.
when, were you studying, is it pharmacology? Is that the?
So I was actually pre-med. So you do like the pre-med or the pre-professional classes, and then you move on to pharmacy school.
Got it.
So come your third year in your undergrad, you have to decide what you want to major in. So that nutritional science major aligned with all of my classes that I needed to really, be approved to go on to pharmacy school. There was other routes you could take, but that one seemed like a good fit for me, something I actually was interested in. So as soon as I dove down that path, I ended up switching to double major in nutritional science and dietetics.
I see.
So taking that switch just made me realize that, that's what I enjoy, and that was the right path for me. Working in a pharmacy wasn't the best fit for me, but what I learned from it was that, I didn't have to stick with something that I didn't love, and I was able to also learn about medication. So now when I'm talking with other people too, if you are managing hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, I'm familiar with those medications and how they may be affecting you, and then how we can work through that from a nutritional side.
That's huge. That's huge because most people that are seeking your help, for the most part, whether they're seeking your help or not, most of our population is in a some type of health crises, or they're on a medication or two, so that is a big role. And
Definitely.
You have been practicing as a dietitian for how long?
It has been about 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And give us a sense in that 6 years, what have you seen? How have you helped people? Give us those insights.
That's a really good question. I've seen a lot. So In 6 years, I've transitioned from acute care, so long-term care, really seeing the effects of lifestyle later in life. So basically after a hospital stay or, after you've been managing these chronic conditions for a very long time, like what that leads to. So I feel like I saw the effect of, what your choices in your life can lead to, which was very eye-opening. It also was very sad, but again, an eye-opening experience to help me to see like why my role does matter and how I can help, even if it is at that stage of life. So then, flipping the script, going into working with individuals, again, still who were, post-hospital stay, but more of like a wide range of ages. I've seen, again, that it's never too late to also make a change. So
you're seeing people, you've worked with people that have said, or that have been through maybe poor health for the most part. And now they're coming to you and they're like, okay, I got this issue. I got this goal. I need some help.
Exactly.
You're not having people, well, I don't want to say you're not having people. It sounds like the majority is people that are maybe not in the state of health they want and they need a little bit more support.
Definitely. Yes. They need a lot more support. They haven't gotten the support that they've been looking for. So a lot of people I'm finding never got education. They never got support from a nutrition standpoint. It's just, hey, do this, take this medication and be on your way. They were never explained, what type of diet they should be following. No one's ever told them, hey, you should be doing this, or these are things you can do to improve your health along the way. So I do feel like that piece is missing, like generally in healthcare these days. So it's very important to, meet people where they're at. And I like to just say, like, fill in those gaps. So just understanding like what's missing and then filling in that nutritional piece. I've also worked with individuals who are like very goal driven by weight loss as well. So whether they are taking a weight loss medication or not, and they're just pursuing, general weight management for, any particular reason. I've worked specifically with individuals in that population, again, of all ages, like ranging from like 18 to, in their 70s or 80s. So I've worked with all ages, all types of people, all different goals. But I've found that, a common ground is that they need help and support, and we need to fill in those gaps because there's always just something missing and there's always a piece missing, whether someone's themselves is a nutrition expert but they just need support, or they just need another fresh perspective on improving their health.
Yeah, when it comes to the support piece, what do you find people need more education, or do they need more accountability? Or do they just need somebody to like be there to talk? Like when you think about, okay, your experience with helping all these people, what's the trend that you see that's like, man, if people just had that, they would be more successful?
That's a great question. I honestly feel like it is somewhat 50-50. Some individuals have never received, that education piece. So it's like, how do you get anywhere without knowing where to start? And there's so much information out there to decipher between like what's right and what's wrong. So that education piece is commonly missing. So you don't have a starting point. So, and again, that education can range and vary so vastly. It can be from a matter of, not understanding the difference of, like carbs and protein and fat to, diving deep into like food labels and like managing those chronic conditions specifically, like what types of foods do I need to be choosing to nourish my body. But then again, some individuals are, again, experts. They know exactly what foods are great, but that accountability piece is also missing. So it's really hard as human beings, human nature. It sometimes can be really hard to be motivated just by ourselves. But when we feel like we have a support system and we have someone laying out the framework for us and just giving us that support, that's really all that we need to be successful.
I believe that wholeheartedly, totally. Just from a selfish perspective, right? When you're doing this kind of work, what's the thing that most lights you up about the work?
I would say just the feedback of I feel better. or thank you. This was really helpful for me. Thank you for taking the time. So when I get that feedback from, clients or members, it does make me feel good to know that they feel supported and that they feel like they've learned something from me. I feel like I'm making a difference. So I guess that could be selfish and also not, because I do actually, want to help. And if someone can feel better and feel more confident and just make better choices so that they can see better outcomes in the future, like that makes me happy. So I guess, yes, that is somewhat selfish, but again,
it's a good selfish.
a good selfish.
You feel good because they're feeling better.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Here's I want to get your perspective on this, which I did not put on the outline at all.
Okay.
People always say food is medicine.
Yes.
What does that mean in your perspective?
Yeah, I think that's a loaded question, but a great question. And I do feel that it is, mainly because of not just actual factual report from feedback from individuals, but from science itself. So basically, for example, fruits and vegetables, every color of fruits and vegetables is significant because of the vitamins and minerals that it provides. So we can get supplementation, from something manufactured or something that's, not man-made, or something that is man-made specifically. But food as medicine basically just means that we're using food and we're using diet to just manipulate, a better outcome. So, for example, even just being more specific, medication, there's been so many situations where, you're taking a medication for blood sugar, high blood pressure, cholesterol, but all of those things can be managed through diet typically. So usually there is something that we can change, whether it be, regulating your blood sugar through food and the types of foods you're choosing, regulating your cholesterol and your blood pressure by, again, manipulating and changing things. So food can act as a source of medicine when we can manage those conditions in that fashion.
Totally. And I have to imagine the side effects from the food prescription are more positive, such as more energy and maybe improved body composition.
Exactly.
So there's like this trickle-down effect from just managing the symptom
Yes.
or the diagnoses to like actually living a healthier life, which I feel like everybody wants. Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you start to see the long-term effects. So, medications come with a lot of side effects, of course. And of course, some of them are inevitable. We have to take some medications for certain things, but again, we don't always have to. So opening up that journey and that door to see like what food can actually do for you is very, important and
Totally.
just a great integration into your life.
All right, I want to shift the spotlight more on you now.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about you. Like, tell us about how you take everything that you are, preaching, and how do you pour it into your life with Brian and, relationships. Like, how does that all work in the sphere of Alex?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that could go so many different ways. So I guess given my knowledge and my backgrounds, I love food. Like I have a love for food. I really do. I would say I am a foodie. Like I enjoy food. It's fun for me. So like my husband and I, we like to go out to dinner, and like that's a good like quality time experience for us. We really bond over a meal and we enjoy good food. But diving a little bit deeper, it is nice to know that like you're going out, you're getting a good quality meal. So you're spending quality time together, and then you're also eating nourishing food. So that is a really great way to look at it. And then also we both like to exhibit a healthy lifestyle, and it makes me feel good that we're working towards a healthy habit together. So just building on that and like forming a relationship again around maybe a date night with food, but also even maybe I'm cooking something at home that I know has good ingredients and I know is good for us. So it's good for longevity, setting us up for success for the week. So we just enjoy that time together from like a relationship standpoint.
Do you
And
guys
then
have a favorite meal to cook? If you were to go make dinner right now tonight, what would it be?
Oh gosh, what would it be? I probably would make a pasta dish. So I made that like Marry Me pasta, and that was really good.
Heard of this? Yeah.
Yes. So that was delicious. And ways that you can, again, make it a little bit healthier would be, again, like the quality of like chicken that you're using. So you can use making sure that you're using like organic, lean chicken, making sure that you're also choosing the right type of pasta. So like a whole grain pasta as well that has good quality ingredients. I always like to look at the ingredients list to make sure it's not a laundry list long and we can actually pronounce the names on the ingredients list. So that's probably something that I've made recently that we both really enjoyed. I also like making these like protein muffins as well. That's probably one of my go-to like snacks or just easy bake things, which ends up just being bananas, like sugar-free chocolate chips. Ooh. Yeah, it's really, really good. Almond flour. So we're making like some good healthy substitutes there, and then we're not getting, a lot of the added ingredients that we might get from like a cake mix. So it's very simple ingredients. But again, also something tasty, but you don't have to feel bad for it. Yeah. And we're using a vanilla protein powder. So we're also getting a little bit more protein as a snack instead of maybe snacking on like a processed muffin that we might buy at the grocery store. And it only takes about maybe 20 minutes. So it's super quick, a healthy swap, but we still get to enjoy something sweet. Mm-hmm. So again, there's so many different ways that we can manipulate how we eat and what we eat to make it more nourishing for us, but still enjoyable. We don't have to give up the things that we love. But we're just making a better choice again for like our energy levels, maintaining muscle mass, and just setting ourselves up for success for the week.
Love it. Love it.
Yes.
I will ask you these questions because I forget the answer. They're on the website.
Okay.
It was what's in the earbuds?
Yes.
What are you reading?
Yes.
And I forget the third one.
Music, reading. Oh, and what can you not be without or live without?
Okay,
yes. Yeah. Okay.
Hit us with those.
Okay. So you might have to cut this out. Reading, I truly don't read.
Got it. I love it. No, it's real. It's raw. Got it.
I really don't. I'm not a big like book person. I'm really not. I've tried. Yeah, honestly, my uncle got me a book about like nutrition and longevity, and I thought that was very sweet. And I did try to read it and get through it. But to be honest with you, I probably would rather like watch something. I would rather like watch like a documentary or like read an article on something. Mm-hmm. That's going to hold my attention over like a book per se.
Roger that.
So yeah, that would probably be what I'm reading or watching. We'll go off that. And then what's in the earbuds? I will listen to pretty much almost anything. When I first met my husband, he was a big country guy and I hated country, and now I'm a country girl.
Okay.
So I love Morgan Wallen. He just released a new album. Getting into like some Christian music too. So Forrest Frank is really good, like more pop style. That's a really good way to start the day or just listen to like on the way to church. So we do enjoy that. I like my hip hop. I like my like slow jams. I mean, pretty much anything. I just no intense rock and roll. That's probably the only thing that I don't really like.
God, I love it. You ever listen to, I've been getting into Elevation Worship.
Yes. Yeah. I went to their concert.
You did?
I did.
Was it insane?
It was great. It really was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a feel good.
Yeah, it was a really great experience, and then it really hit home when they sang our wedding song.
What's your wedding song?
So we walked down the aisle to Brandon Lake, and
awesome.
Yeah, it was a really great experience. Like walking down the aisle to that, which my mom actually helped to pick that song, and then they played it when we went to the concert. So it was just a really like
the best.
Yeah, it was a special moment, definitely. So cool. But yeah.
Okay, now what can't you live without?
What can't I live without? Coffee. Amen. Love coffee. Mm-hmm. My favorite coffee place is Good Grounds. It's in Almont, Michigan. So if anyone ever wants to go
Okay.
there, it's the best. It's
You have to bring us a bag.
organic. It's like a little mom and pop shop, but the best. I love it. I love what they stand behind. You can tell that they pride themselves on quality, and it's local, so a small business, which is nice. So yes, coffee. I have bought their coffee grounds and I make them at home, but I do like going there specifically. And I think travel too, just going to a new place, again, trying new restaurants in a new city or a new place, that's really fun. Again, something that my husband and I really enjoy doing together is just traveling. In the first 3 months of us knowing each other, we took a trip to Texas together, and I think that started everything.
Traveling, I always say this, and I would like to travel more, but there's something healing about going, especially someone like that's meaningful to you, going and experiencing a new place.
Definitely.
Especially if it's like outdoors, like there's just a different energy and more creative. Like when my wife and I go, now our daughter, when we go to a place that has water and sun,
Yep.
there is this creativity that descends upon me.
Yep.
That I can't replicate here. Like I have to go to a different place to get it.
Yes, exactly. I think you're out of your element a little bit, so you're not in your typical environment. You're not in your usual routine. So when you're taken out of that, I do feel like there is a creative element that is brought upon you, where you feel, oh, I have a new idea, I have a new thought. Like you have that light bulb that goes off. And it's funny that you say that, because my husband has said the same thing. He's like, I find that I, regenerate and recharge, and I get more creative, when I'm away and take a step back. And then when we return back to our routine, like I just feel like revived, and I have like more of that creative energy. So I think that's really important, that we take some time for ourselves. Personal time is really important. Get away, remove yourself from your like mundane routine, and expose yourself to change and just something that's different, because even though it's hard, I do feel like it's always rewarding.
Totally. Well, hey, Alex, thank you for coming on real quick just to give us some insight around you.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. I think it's always a good thing when people can connect the person behind the prescription.
Yes.
It's just more trust, more connection, and then the person has more health results. So
Definitely.
appreciate your time.
Happy to help. Happy to be here.
And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for sticking around, watching, learning. If you extracted some value, please share this with your friends and family. You can also click the subscribe link. I believe if you're on the Spotifys and Apples and you're listening to this, there's a subscribe link at the bottom of the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, bottom right of this video, you can click subscribe to stay up to date on the latest episodes. Thank you again for joining us on this episode. And with that being said, be well, stay connected, and take care of your health.